This is the final word for Wisden Cricket Monthly, fueled by Kookaburra Cricket. Adam Collins here with Jo Harman, the magazine editor of Wisden Cricket Monthly. The new edition out on shelves this week. And Jo, you've got a big one. You've got Virat Kohli, you've got the exclusive with the man himself, the Indian skipper, arguably, no, not arguably, the best player on the planet. And he's told you that above all else, what he loves doing is playing Test cricket. That warmed the heart.
That's true, and it only took 4 years to get him as well, so it was that easy. Yeah, I had to sit down an hour with him before the start of the Test series. Talked about loads of stuff. He was very open, very candid, knows what he wants to say about things, and he's got that status in cricket now where when he talks about the primacy of Test cricket, that really has an impact. And he said, I think the line was, he can never explain what it means to score runs in Test cricket by comparison to other formats, when given the amount of runs he scored in 50 over cricket, that's quite a special thing to hear from the biggest batting talent in the world today. And
a bit of self-reflection as well, explaining how he's become such a force by the way he's changed as a man as well as a cricketer.
Yeah, so he says he's proud that he hasn't changed too much, but he does admit that in his earlier days when he was perhaps a little more brash, he particularly mentions a day at Sydney where he stuck up a middle finger at the crowd and got called into the match referee the next day, and he said he looks at those things now and kind of just laughs at himself, and that was the theme of the interview actually. I think he had a level of kind of self-deprecation that I perhaps wasn't expecting from speaking to him, and a really good sense of humour.
Inside the mag, you've had a list put together which is a feature of the Wisden Cricket Monthly. This month's list is the best 25 women cricketers under the age of 23, which the best part of for me is that 12 countries are represented, which reflects how the women's game is expanding around the globe.
I think it does. We've got women from the UAE, from Netherlands, and these countries I don't think would have appeared in a list of these, so I definitely wouldn't have appeared in a list of these like a few years ago. Yeah, we had the blokes in the previous issue, and we've got the women in this issue. Wanted to give them their own space, their own right, and there are some really special players. What was noticeable with this list was actually it wasn't too far off what the best players in the world list would be. So many of the best young women cricketers are 23 or under, which was the stipulation. I think probably most people out there could probably guess the number one if they've been watching the Kia Super League this summer. But anyway, I won't reveal it now, just in case.
No, won't reveal it. Make sure you buy the mag or pick it up at wisden.com/final word. Get yourself a subscription offer. I'll plug that again. Wisden.com/final word for a very generous discount on your online edition. Also inside the magazine, features writer Felix White has done a magnificent job with his interviews with the product. Sat down with some of England's spinners from across the years about how hard it is when they first come into the national side.
Yeah, this is a fantastic piece that Felix has been talking about for a little while. He's a bit of a spinner himself and loves talking to other spinners about bowling spin, and this was the theme really was the kind of unique place in English cricket that a spinner has, the challenges that involves, and he spoke to Tuffers, Swanee, Min Patel, going back to Robin Hobbs, Ian Salisbury, about their debut in particular, because English spinners have had some pretty memorable debuts, not always for the right reasons, and the ongoing challenge of bowling spin in conditions where it generally doesn't favour spinners, and obviously pretty pertinent with a tour of Sri Lanka to come up this winter and West Indies after that, where spin will play a big part.
And last but not least, always a focus on the county game inside the magazine. And this month, editor-at-large John Stern has gone to Worcester and found out how a smaller club can compete for recruitment and developing young players.
Yeah, I think Worcester do an amazing job just bringing through young player after young player. They often lose them to other counties, and just the next person on the conveyor belt seems to come along. So John spoke to their academy director and Phil Sharp, their coach, about how they do that really, and how they cope with losing players, and the kind of philosophy around not wanting to, they don't want to lose these players, but they're also aware that they will lose some of them, and just making sure that every spot is filled. And you've seen some fantastic, Joe Clark, Josh Tongue, Ed Barnard, some brilliant players coming through, and they keep on coming.
As always, jump on the website wisden.com or pick up the mag, Wisden Cricket Monthly. I'll repeat it again, wisden.com/final word, a very generous subscription offer. Thanks to Jo Harman, the magazine editor. I'm Adam Collins. This is the final word for Wisden Cricket Monthly, fueled by Kookaburra Cricket. We'll see you next week for the final Test match between England and India.
When I get the chance to go in and see Lockie at the Kookaburra factory in Melbourne, I like to check out what he's got there, and I'm looking for a bat that has a nice grain on it, nice straight grains, and maybe quite a few on there, as many as can possibly fit. I want the bat to be a nice full shape, so there's no real cutouts at the bat, and about 2.9, 2.10, but picks up maybe around like a 2.7. So that's why I use the Surge, because it meets those requirements perfectly.